Hello and welcome to episode 125 of the GameBrew Podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious bevs, discuss video games, and don't forget, Pokemon are terrifying beasts. I am Dan Rotz.
I'm Chris Wright.
And I'm Allison Van Devender, who got that right on the first take.
First try.
First try. On this episode of the GameBrew Podcast, we will be talking about rare collectibles in games and what an NFT actually is, because I don't think they're real. But first, it's time for a bev. Chris, what are we drinking, sir?
I'm drinking a beer called Crooked Beak from Manor Hill Brewing. It's actually a brewery that's at a farm about 5 minutes from my house, which is nice. And this is a nice, tasty little IPA they got going on.
Ooh, a nice, tasty IPA. What's in the notes? What does it denote?
It's crispy. It's fruity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very much like a New England style IPA for sure. A NEPA. Unfiltered, as you can kind of see there.
It's very hazy.
Very hazy, but very tasty. Not a lot of linger on the back end. But pretty crispy. I like it.
Nice. Allison, have you started sipping your bev yet?
I'm gonna be real. I don't really have much alcohol. I want to start. I need direction. I think the problem with our new format is Allison doesn't have direction on what she needs to drink, and so she never knows what to drink.
Alcohol. Drink alcohol.
And that's what I've been doing. I just kind of grab.
Or you could drink whatever you want. I mean, you could drink freaking. What are they? Those like fermented tea things.
Sure.
Whatever they're called.
I don't know. It just feels right that it's alcohol. I don't know why.
So.
But
there's like a tiny bit of alcohol in those.
When I was like drinking
kombucha
tea,
is what you were talking about.
Right. When I was drinking tea at the start of the podcast for brews, it made sense to the theme, but it just didn't feel right when you guys were all getting mildly intoxicated by part 2.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I just feel like I need to drink alcohol. So I think I'm going to start doing like those fun game related drinks that we found.
Yeah, those were good.
I'm going to start doing some of those. But for now, Allison just has Baja Blast with alcohol in it. It's vodka.
Soon.
I mean, that's like a pretty gaming themed drink, to be honest.
True.
Pretty on-brand Allison themed drink, too.
And soon you'll be able to get that pre-mixed for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll be able to get like the Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dew is what they're coming out with.
What?
So.
Yeah.
Have you not heard about this? Oh, yeah.
Fluffy posted it in... maybe it was in my stream chat, but I thought he posted it in the GameBrew chat and said the road to Allison becoming an alcoholic, and I couldn't agree more. So we'll see.
Well, did you ever have Everglow? I think I've mentioned this before, but it's like a tequila liqueur that like glows in the dark. The bottle glows in the dark.
Wasn't that a Foo Fighters album?
Okay,
Everglow. Maybe.
Everglow. I'm going to have to find it. Does it still exist?
It did 10 years ago, so I have no idea. They have it at the Liquor Barn for $28.
The Liquor Barn.
I made a note. I'm going to try to find it.
Actually, It's not the Liquor Barn that you think. It's actually LICK''ER, and it's basically if you go and you're female, you really just watch out because don't get licked. Don't get licked. What
are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking. Tonight I'm going to be drinking a bevy of Sly Fox beers. Sly Fox.
You drinking a bevy of bevies from Sly Fox?
A bevy of bevies from Sly Fox Brewing. Sly Fox is in Pottstown, so it's close to me. And usually I've gone to their Bach Festival and Goat Race a few years.
Bach.
It's a Bach festival. Like
I'm confused.
Keyboard
no, like BOC, like the beer. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a beer festival.
I thought you were talking about BACH.
No.
Me too. I was like, this is an interesting mashup. Continue.
No, it's
Bach.
It's true. Yeah, but it's a beer festival and goat races, and they do it every year. I haven't gone in a while though, but
they really should add Johann Sebastian to that too.
Yeah, it's a Bach and goat race festival. But yeah, right now I'm drinking their Pikeland Pils, which is good. It's good. It's a Pilsner.
Yeah. Is it got that kind of Czechy pilsy taste to it? Or?
Yeah, it's got some like bite to it. You know, whenever you drink a good pills, it's got some.
Does it have that like dankness?
Yes, it does. Wherever you want to drink it, you're like, this is dank. I do want to say they do have like a Not Your Father's Mountain Ale that you can get, which is like if you've had the Not Your Father's root beer, they have that, but they have one that's like Mountain Dew that I used to drink.
I do recall that, yeah.
And
I think it has hops in it because I think I wanted to get it and I think I couldn't. I think
that
so. Yeah.
sounds weird. Why would it have hops in it?
Well, you'd be surprised. I think a lot of like ciders even have hops in it. I think it just helps some of the processing. But anyway, I'll check it again just to make sure.
You know, I eat a lot of yogurt. That helps my processing.
Or kombucha.
Kombucha does too. All right, well, that's what we're drinking this week. So I hope if you're at home and in a place where you can drink responsibly, please join us. And,
if you're driving, don't.
Also, it's probably really terrible quality. Should be watching Twitch while you're driving. That's really bad for you.
Well, but if they're listening to it later,
yeah,
calm
if
down.
you're listening to it later, still don't be drinking. But good on
if you're
you.
driving.
If you're driving. If you're at home, like doing the dishes, you could do it. It's fine. What have we been playing? I know Chris and I have been playing one thing that's the same. Allison, let's start with you. What's the last thing you played?
The last thing I played, I picked up Roki again after a very long pause because I'm decidedly going to finish it. But I am a little stuck right now, and I got stuck for like 20 minutes on my stream the week before last playing it and felt really dumb. And I mean, there were a couple of factors. I think I halted there because I was having problems, but also I hadn't played in so long that it was just really hard for me to remember
You forgot
where
like,
everything
where you
was.
were, what you were
Yeah,
doing.
and what I was last doing and where I had really like thoroughly explored and where I hadn't. So that made it really difficult. It's definitely one of those games that I feel like you should play through.
Yeah, you gotta start and then keep playing it until you're done. Not
yeah,
like, come back to it
definitely
later.
enjoying that. And actually, I just thought of it. I also continued playing Wildermyth after our 24-hour stream
Oh, yeah?
because Ian got me to buy it, so I would play it with him, and I enjoyed it so much.
Nice.
That I felt the need to continue playing immediately. So I got through the whole first
Chapter?
I don't know. No, it's like 3
Act?
chapters.
So act,
That's
yeah.
better. Yes, I got through the first act. Kind of was sad because it felt like it finished so quick, but I didn't realize there were more chapters or acts, sorry,
Yeah.
that I could play, and they're all going to be longer than this one.
Nice.
So that made me feel good. I really enjoy that game. If anyone didn't get to catch us because we were playing very early in the morning, very, very late. No, it was early.
Early.
Gosh, when everyone was sleeping.
It was early. It was like 6 a.m. I think
Yeah.
that's early.
Yeah, it is early. So we were. It's really like getting to play a video game version of a D&D campaign and being able to do it solo or being able to do it with a friend. And I think it's 3 people max. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's more. But we actually played. We got the opportunity to play with a third person when we were doing the 24-hour stream. So that was very cool. It's cool to just like assign characters to people and let them kind of control their fate. I love the way the characters grow relationships, where you may choose them or the choices you make may decide it. So that's really cool. Can't suggest that game anymore right now. Like I really, really enjoy it.
Couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, recommend it. That's the word I wanted.
I was going to say, if you said you couldn't suggest it more, it's like, okay, then stop suggesting it. God.
Yes. Well, yes. Both things.
Both. No, that's great. It looked really interesting whenever you were doing it. Those XCOM style games are not always my favorite, but I do like Dungeons and Dragons. So the Dungeons and Dragons. I'm actually wearing my Dungeons and Diners and Drive-Ins and Dragons.
Love that shirt.
Wait,
And dives.
my Dungeons Dungeons and Diners and Dragons and Drive-Ins and dives. Drive-Ins and Dives shirt.
Yeah.
It has. I'm contemplating making making a little one-shot campaign for my adventures because their campaign's over in D&D, but I'm contemplating making a little one-shot where they have to go to Flavortown.
Flavorton?
Please
Like
do.
Flavortown is under duress, and they need to save it. They need to help Guy Fiery save his town.
Fiery.
No, Guy Fiery.
Yeah.
It's like that. But I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a level 45 paladin right now.
Okay.
Soaking up all the damage, being a good tank.
Tanky boy?
Yeah, just being a good tank.
What's grabbing you about that game? I feel like that, like,
I really enjoy.
I haven't seen you stick to many MMOs for very long. I feel like
I really enjoy the questing. Like it's like the quests are exciting and like fun, and it also like the part of the quests is going into dungeons too. So it's not just like, okay, always go collect stuff, always go do this thing, always kill this guy. Instead, it's like, okay, now you have to go deliver this wine to this guy over here. And then when you get there, he's like, oh, I love this wine. We're going to go and do this dungeon now. So you go in and you randomly can connect with, like, if you have people with you, you could do it like go with those people, or it like match makes you with other players. And it's like part of like the main quest line. So you can't continue along the main quest if you don't do those things. So,
and is that something like you have? It's like a 5-man dungeon type.
It's just
situation?
4. So far, it's 4. It's light party dungeons. So,
and do they have like a good matchmaking system for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of. It's just whoever goes in. So, because there's it level scales for you. So, like whatever the level is, it scales you down or up to whatever. Well, not up, but it scales you down to whatever it is. So, like, I'm level 45 on the main quest. I think I just did a level 32 dungeon. So, I didn't have all my stuff that I have on, like, my toolbars because technically I wouldn't have had it unlocked by then. Gotcha. But, like, I still have all my equipment and any of those kind of things. But it's really fun. So,
I think that was, like, one of my bigger problems with the game when I was playing it is the lack of playing with friends until you get to like 40, 45. That didn't deter you though?
It didn't stop. No, because it starts you at dungeons like right at level 10. So I don't know if it's different now, but
maybe I missed something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And you said you liked a lot of the quests, like story. How is it compared to like Star Wars: The Old Republic, which had, Well,
Star Wars, I mean, it's still very like open. Like there's a big story, which is, like the world was destroyed and this is, you're trying to like go back and there's like, ooh, mysterious forces. Marauder DS says destroy all dungeons with your pyromancer. But it's like it's open. It's a pretty open story. Like it's where you work for a company and then you're going and doing a bunch of stuff for them. And there's like, oh no, you have to collect all of this meat for this festival we're going to have. And then you put the meat in the certain locations and then it attracts kobolds and then et cetera, et cetera. Whereas with Star Wars, it is very like,
personal.
yeah. It's a little bit, you can like change and you have companions and stuff. In this, there's no companion systems.
Right.
But it's good. I did join a free company, so shout out to my House of Dragons friends.
Nice.
What up? It's very nice. It's kind of it's fun just to go. Like it's the same thing with Discord. It's like if with the podcast is where it's like if I'm on and someone says hi, it's like cool. It's like you log on and people are like, "Hey, Dathiel." I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" That's my character's name. So it's just it's just fun. I wish more people were playing with me that I knew. But it's nice. It's nice for me because it's very like one of the very cathartic things that I can do and not have to like think too hard about. especially because I'm a tank. So even if I do a dungeon, I just go into the middle and start doing stuff and
aggro and just hold the aggro.
aggroing all the stuff and hoping the healer's doing their job.
And
so,
the DPS too.
And the DPS is doing stuff too.
Lost Ark releases this week, and if it's awful, I guess I'm probably going to try that again. So maybe you'll have somebody to play with.
Yeah,
because I'm at my last ditch effort for MMOs, so we'll see if this works.
I would try, but it's not worth me getting into like a deep game right now.
There's too much in February. February is too fun.
I mean, the 17th is Total War Warhammer 3, and then the week after that is Elden Ring. So
Elden Ring, that's true. We've already got the first one. Chris, why don't you talk about Dying Light 2? I've been playing it also, but...
Yeah, so picked up Dying Light. I haven't gotten Dying Light 2. I haven't gotten too far into it. But... Well, before I go too far, how do you like it compared to the first one?
It's cleaner than the first one.
What do you mean cleaner?
In the way that it's less like all at once. In the first one, you kind of get thrown a lot of stuff all at once and you don't really kind of know what anything does. This one really takes more of a narrative focus on like, okay, here's how this happens. Here's how this happens. Then this is how you do this. But yeah.
So I in general I've enjoyed it, but I feel like it's pretty broad and a little shallow a lot of times. I feel like, I mean, it's very much one of those games where you're kind of hopping around. You're hopping around to different areas with question marks and doing them. Sometimes you have to wait for night to do them, or sometimes you can do them during the day. Traversal is fun, but I haven't gotten enough parkour stuff to make it so it's, as enjoyable as something like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that's where I had to reset my brain a little bit, because for those of you who don't know, Dying Light is a parkour zombie killing game. In fact, survival, zombie, murder. But it's they call it in the game. They call it parkour combat, which it is. There's because you can like jump on enemies' heads. There's like a thing it teaches you early on, which is that you can block somebody, and then as you block them, they get stunned. You jump on their head and then launch yourself off and kick somebody in the face with both your legs.
Well, and I got the most important thing was the drop kick.
Oh yeah, I can't get that to work right. I keep trying to do it, and it just doesn't work the best way. But that comes into it. But yeah, it's.
Have you been playing it by yourself or with other people?
I would play by myself. Just by myself.
So if you play with other people, it's kind of janky.
Yeah, I've heard the multiplayer is a little like.
We've been having some issues. Like some enemies will despawn. There's this one mission where you have to get some groceries for a kid, and the kid, when we got to him, like basically his head was, the spoon in the Matrix where it would like kind of. It was like going like it was like that. Yeah, his head was like just wiggling around in front of us, and we couldn't like turn anything into him. So and we had to like leave the game and come back to turn it in. So it's just there's a lot of a bit of jankiness to it right now, especially in multiplayer. I think it seems fine in single player from what I've seen.
And it is fun. It is a little bit more RPG-y. Like in the last one, there was a story and there were people you could help along the way, but you didn't really get a choice in stuff. It just kind of was like, here's the story, go ahead. Now you get more choices whenever you are helping people.
Yeah, like you can choose to, help one person versus another, or I think there's two factions basically that you can choose between. So I mean, yeah, I do like those things for sure. I still need to keep playing it, I think, but it does feel like it could have waited a couple more weeks to get polished.
And I think that'll come. That's going to come in maybe like in a month. Some of those things will be ironed out. But I think with the way that games are released now,
that's just so common. I feel like now.
Yeah, I think
that's what we're going to experience. Unfortunately, yeah, they should wait those couple of extra weeks, but they have all this immense pressure,
especially because they already delayed for a whole year.
Yeah.
that
So
just didn't exist around these games too. And I think that's just going to get worse and worse. And I think it's going to really make games suffer, but I think that's how it is, and it's sad.
If I recall, they supported the crap out of the first game. Like they were updating it a lot.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were doing like different weekends. So like I remember your drop kicks could be like exploding or whatever.
Yeah. Did you ever play the DLC for it?
I don't know if I
It's
did.
huge. It's like a whole nother game. Like they just did, and
Like Blood and Wine sized.
kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Where it's like, and then it incorporated vehicles into it too.
Cool.
So it was like all this other stuff.
That's cool.
So I mean, Techland's great, which is why they like waited a really long time to put it out, because they were like, okay, this is as good as it's going to be for right now. We don't want to make you wait anymore, and then we'll keep fixing stuff as you find complaints. Let us know, and we'll fix it. You know. So
yeah. No, I mean, I'm not trying to like say like it's a bad game or anything like that. I think I need to give it more of a shot, and I need to keep playing it a little bit.
Yes.
But I don't know. And I want to play it with you too. But I feel like there's a little more jank than I expected in it. I think.
Mm-hmm. I typically have never played this game as multiplayer, but I really like the single player campaign. Can you tell me about Pokemans?
Yeah, so I also picked up Pokemans earlier this month, or I guess last month. The end of it.
The end of it.
And this is probably the biggest. I mean, Sword and Shield kind of brought the 3D world into it. I mean, I think there was kind of 3D worlds before, but not to the scale of Sword and Shield. This kind of expands on that, but then also turns some of the things we expect, like doing gym battles and trainer battles in general. There are trainer battles in this, but they're not as prevalent. Like you're not generally going to run across people with Pokemon, because Pokemon are as we said before, they're terrifying beasts. You're kind of going out into the wild and catching them for the first time with your wooden Pokeballs, which we found out recently is because all Pokemon have this ability to just become very tiny, which they say in the game.
Oh, is that so? That's the reason that Pokeballs work, is that Pokemon just can become super tiny?
Yep.
Oh
I mean, it was always assumed, wasn't it? Like,
well, but like I've always figured it was a function of the Pokeball, not
that the Pokeball
themselves.
like captures them. Instead, it's like they get small.
Why wouldn't they be just really small in the wild then to hide? I'm just going to throw it out there. That does feel like a loophole.
But then
I'm not asking questions here. I'm playing Pokemon.
I am. I'm asking a lot of questions.
But then also there's the animal cruelty aspect where it's like, okay, it can get really small, but now it's just in this wooden ball that you keep in your pocket.
I always like to imagine it was like a little home with
like
a cushy little like pet bed.
Basically.
And yeah, that's what I wanted. But anyway, I guess not, because they just get tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah, and it's like the parts where you're hanging out with the Pokemon in the wild feel pretty cool and pretty great. Like they feel like you're actually going out into the wild and seeing these Pokemon. Some Pokemon attack you, some Pokemon don't, just because they're not really used to humans. Right. So like it's like going to a place where there's not a lot of people, and you know sometimes animals just won't know how to react to you because they don't know if they should fear you or not. So that's kind of cool. When you're in the town, it doesn't feel like the town is alive, I guess, which is kind of a bummer. But I mean, it's the first time I feel like they've kind of tried to do this kind of thing with a town, where it's kind of a central hub instead of multiple towns that you're going around with different gyms. Okay. So they're doing a lot of new things, and I think there's a lot of really good quality of life things they could do, but I mean overall I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Nice, that's good. Yeah. That's what I hear from people, is that they are having fun, especially because you can catch like different size Pokemon. I think is one of the interesting things. And
like alpha Pokemon, which are like super angry versions of them. They have red eyes
and I think I think a lot of people have seen the meme where like somebody walks up to a sleeping Snorlax, or they try and throw a Pokeball at a sleeping Snorlax, and then it just hyper beams the crap out of them.
Yep, that happens.
Does that happen to you? Like, can you be attacked by Pokemon?
Yeah, you can black out.
Oh, like, no.
Yeah, so like you can take damage from Pokemon, and if you take too much damage, then you
then you
blackout.
black out too. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they have a kind of cool thing. Like if you had a bunch of stuff in your bag, it'll pop up on someone else's game, and you can kind of like save their bag, and it'll go back to them, and you'll get like a little reward for getting it.
Oh, that's nice.
Kind of like that Dark Souls interconnected world without actually like playing
being
with each
interconnected.
other.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it's pretty cool. And yeah, it's kind of, I feel like getting closer to the perfect Pokemon that we imagined, where we would all be like out in the wild and catching stuff.
Yeah, catching stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of immediate stuff I heard, kind of backlashy things about it being either visually muddy or ugly, and then some stuff about it just not being a good game. But a lot of it to me was like, is that from the modern gamer just wanting to be hand-fed everything and kind of like instant gratification game versus what I would want out of a Pokemon game, which is that kind of like real environment feel and kind of struggle to get there, rather than I feel like the last Pokemon game, Sword and Shield especially, everything just like felt thrown at you so easy, and the XP share was so easy, and like all of that
XP share.
I don't love that, but
yeah, me neither.
I will say that my stuff is fainting way more than it used to. They've made fights, because you're not fighting trainers that often, they've made the fights against Pokemon in the wild a lot tougher. Like, you'll get chunked for like 1/3 to 2/3 of your health sometimes with a single attack.
Interesting.
Those wild Pokemon, baby. They're wild.
They're wild.
I forgot to do this earlier. So, Allison, how many paper cutout adventurers would you give Wildermyth?
Oh, I mean, I haven't finished it.
Uh-huh.
But at least so far, paper cutout. What am I giving it?
I don't know. Whatever the little, because they look like they're little cutout paper people.
Oh, that's why. I give it. I give it out of 10. Is that what our scale is? We do different scales every
your
time.
Scale is different. It doesn't matter. It's whatever your scale.
Little paper cutout people. I give it like a 9 out of 10. I'm quite happy with it right now. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So far, I'm going to give Dying Light a 7 severed zombie heads, or 7.5 severed zombie heads out of 10.
Okay.
For Dying Light 2, I think.
I think I'd give it 6.5 drop kicks.
Okay.
Out of 10.
That's where you only kick with one leg. That's how you half drop kick.
Yeah, it's like a, or maybe like a scissor kick.
Yeah, like a scissor kick.
And then I would give Arceus a good 7.5 or 8.
Okay, so a lot of like
eight's a little generous. So 7.5.
A lot of just decent games. You know, it's like things that are like, okay, these are good,
solid fun games.
Solid fun games is how we're doing. So speaking of things that are solid, I have to go poop. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of things that are liquid, I have to go poop.
Can I just say we have officially reached your poop talk maximum for this podcast episode. This is the second time your poop has come up.
What was the
first time was about how regular he is thanks to yogurt.
Oh.
So we are done. We've reached the cap. I will literally kick you off if you do it once
I don't think they heard that one because I had muted everybody. But
I thought you were live then, but maybe not.
I can't remember.
Sorry if I just
subjected
everybody to that one.
But one of the things I've been doing recently, aside from playing Final Fantasy 14 to kind of chill out, I've been cataloging all of my Magic the Gathering cards that I have. Because I want to know what I have to make decks with them. One of the cool things I've been using an app called Top Decked on my phone.
Okay.
And one of the things that's cool about it is that as you're putting it in, it can kind of show you like the relative worth of what your card would be. Like if you find each one. So like for instance, like this, I have like a couple cards that are worth like $10, something like that. And then like one that's worth $8. You can go through and kind of see it. My entire collection that I have is probably the paper is worth about $158. So, I mean, when you think about how much money I've spent on them, probably not a whole lot, but it is also kind of cool. But then it made me think like, it's really cool that there are things that you can collect where it's like I could get to see is like, ooh, I have this rare thing. Because even though I'm not going to sell them, you know, it's $10. I'm not going to sell it. It's just cool to know that I have this thing that is like rare that like other people don't have it, but I do. And then I started thinking about all the other things that are out there, because in the free company for Final Fantasy 14, someone was saying, it was like, oh, hey, make sure you go to this event because you can get this outfit. And if you don't get this outfit, you might not be able to get that outfit again. And I'm like, but it's just an outfit. I don't really need it. But then there are some people who it's like, that's what they want, is they want the stuff that's like, you can't have it unless you go and do all the stuff. Oh, thanks, Gray Man. I need to put the alert box above all the things. There it is. Okay.
I need to check out that app. That sounds pretty cool. Is it just Magic or is it also other?
It's just Magic as far as I know. Yeah, it's just Magic cards.
Cool.
But yeah, so it made me think about like that there's all these things out there where you can like get something that nobody else has. And how I think that's pretty cool sometimes.
That's a real smooth transition there, Dan.
Yeah, I mean that's why I wanted to. That's why I brought it up, because I was just like, I've been doing this, and I think that it's neat that I know these things are fancy.
Gray said it's always cool to see the actual value on top of it being yours and meaning something to you for sure.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I can relate that to that you're talking about would be my autographed Stan Lee poster. I would never sell it. Like, my intention in getting it, I wasn't even going to get it authenticated there because I didn't care. But my dad said, just freaking do it. And he gave me the extra money to get it authenticated because he said that he thought it was important just because.
Nice.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But like that moment was crazy meaningful to me, and it has so much personal value. I would never, ever sell it, but it is kind of cool to know that I own something that I guess is worth something more than it, I guess, is just to me monetarily. I mean,
yeah, I mean, when I go to concerts, I sometimes buy concert posters or vinyl albums, and I kind of sometimes get, if I really like the band, I'll get the ones that are signed. You know, I mean, there might be a ton of them that are signed, but I don't know, it makes it feel a little more special.
Yeah. I caught a drumstick in between my boobs at a concert, and I got it signed because it just
did you actually right. Like it? Just like,
yes.
Wow.
Like whip.
Yes.
Like, and it was in there.
It was thrown in the crowd. Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
So I caught.
Did you like go chest first into catching it?
No. Okay. So no. What happened is I caught two things at two separate Dance Gavin Dance concerts.
Both with your boobs.
No.
Okay.
It was my favorite group. So I'm so short that this, like, I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but reaching in a big crowd of dudes who are very much taller than me never works. So they always throw things at the end of the concert. They throw the drumsticks, they throw guitar picks, sweat rags sometimes. So I caught a sweat rag once, which I was like, ew, but I guess I keep it.
Did you still have it?
I still have it. Yeah. And
Unwashed?
Yeah. Why would you wash it? Secondly, why would you smell it or touch it ever again? It's just there with my memorabilia.
Yeah.
You love it, but you hate it too.
I love it, but I hate it. I really do. And then I got a signed record that I like paid extra to go and get the whole band to sign. But at that concert that I got the signed album, they threw drumsticks, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So my hands aren't up. I'm not trying to catch it, but I was wearing a corset, so it was low, and the drumstick just shot in perfectly right in and just got caught in between. And I was like, what? Anyway, that's how I caught it.
The chances, that's amazing.
That's dangerously close to being like hitting you in the face.
So it was.
That's
I got very scared and then very excited. It was
Gray Man says for some reason when you said drumstick, he thought you were thinking chicken drumsticks.
And how could you sign that?
That would be even better. Well, but no,
would it?
I mean,
I would go get it. But
would you still have it? A chicken drumstick if they threw that?
I don't know.
Put it in a plastic. Vacuum seal it. Put it in a plastic
resin.
bag.
Have you seen
at the end when we're switching to a game? I'll go get the drumstick and show everybody. It's on my wall.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But anyways, you can kind of use this tangent to go into where we were going, Dan.
What?
Weren't you going to use
No,
this
this is
the first topic?
I mean, this is the topic.
This
We're
is the
talking.
topic?
This
Yeah,
is
we're
the
there.
topic. We're in
okay.
there.
We're into collectibles. It's just
We're
so
in there.
hit games.
It's
yet.
just the thing that people are talking about now all over the place, which
Right.
is NFTs, new fun turtles.
Non-fungible tokens.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was. I want new fun turtles. So
I mean, I do too. You can get an NFT of an NFT.
what?
which for everybody who doesn't know is like a Bitcoin, except not.
Different.
It's
I know,
different.
except not because
So-
Bitcoins are fungible and these are
Right.
non-fungible, which is the
So,
mega
yeah.
difference.
Basically the difference is it's Bitcoin's a type of currency, whereas and is fungible, whereas a non-fungible token is something that's unique and doesn't have a set value. So you could trade non-fungible tokens that aren't the same. You could trade your really nice Charizard card for a 1909 Honus Wagner card from Cigarette Packs that's worth $500,000. They're pieces of art basically that only you own, and like the one that you own is completely unique to you.
Well, but now it's not only pieces of art. Now there's like
I've heard of like real estate, music.
real estate. There's music, which is a big issue right now.
Is it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
because there's a company that's
ownership.
there's a
is hard
company
on
that
music
is
anyway.
claiming like ownership of NFTs that are people's songs and you can't. It's like
that sounds like a Supreme Court case waiting to happen.
yeah. It's
Copyright.
I'm pretty
law.
sure it's already heading that way. But
Yeah.
But like, yeah. What were
Yeah.
we talking about?
NFTs.
So it's like all these things. I just remember I saw something about NFTs. Number one, they're really bad for the environment, just like Bitcoin is really bad for the environment because it's all of these CO2 emitting. Like
It requires a lot of electricity to process the blockchain transaction.
and it's also why we can't get any 3080s. God damn it! Because all
That's
these.
not the only reason.
It's one of the reasons.
It's a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, and obviously, like if it's a digital thing, like you can own it, but like anyone can download it really if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the big thing is, I mean, we live in a digital era. And Gray even said they're doing it with drawings too. Already started a thing where you have a file to prove it's yours. So they will take it down even after somebody paid for it. And
Well, because I mean, you can own it, but like basically you own the blockchain
Right.
transaction
right.
is what
Right.
you really own, I think.
Right. And I mean, we live in a digital era and the reality is, I don't know, you can download anything. Yeah, you own
Download RAM.
you can download rand.com. Please don't
Yeah.
go there.
Please don't do that.
Don't do
Please
that.
don't do that. But like these are all digital items, and I was having a conversation earlier about it, and we got into such a good place with it, but I wish it was recorded because I'll never remember it all now. Where I've heard people say like it's like this having an NFT is like owning the Mona Lisa versus owning prints of the Mona Lisa, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of, but with digital media, why does it matter? Like, if you own the Mona Lisa, you own a physical painting with texture, and that is there, and it is different from a print. But realistically, how is it different from a print when it's digital?
It's different because there are people who do digital.
Prestige.
Like The Prestige. I love that movie too, but Chris, that's
Also
off
great.
topic. No, but it is really saying like, oh, I own the one of these.
It's like
things.
owning the original copy of the Prestige versus a Blu-ray copy of the Prestige.
Right. It's like, and especially with digital media now, because there are a lot of digital media artists. So when you think about it, there's not really a way to have like like the Mona Lisa whenever you do digital art, because unless you have something that's like an NFT where it's like this specific code for this is what I own, which is what that is, and then everything else is just a pretender.
Well, and there's just like so much difficulty. I have a friend who does a lot of 8-bit art for video games and tons of other stuff. And he said he saw his art being sold as NFTs and he didn't do it. Like there's
Is it
so
copyrighted?
Yeah.
But it's
that's gonna be a big thing, I think, is
the
NFTs versus
issue
copyright.
and the issue he found is to even claim that, to even try to get this back. It's such a messy process right now, and it exposes him more to the person who has stolen his art, who can now take the information he has to provide to the company to try to take this NFT down. He has to give them all of his personal information to prove his identity and to try to prove this is his work. And that all is transparent to the person who has stolen his stuff. So all it does is really give this person more fuel the next time to copy his stuff and claim it's him. Like, it's such a muddy environment right now. I think this is all going too fast. And he does like the video game art. So these are things he's drawn and posted on, his social media and things like that people have just ripped and taken. And then there's the other step of like, when he makes this art for video games, they can do things with it with NFTs that he could never do. So this is like his personal art that isn't locked into contracts for video games because he can't post that stuff until the game's out. But like, it's two sides of the coin for him, where he's just like, NFTs suck as an artist.
And I
mean, there's artists out there that think NFTs are great though,
which is where it's hard to be. There's also a lot of like content creators who are having their content stolen and made into NFTs. There's a lot of Twitch streamers out there who have like had like, it's like a picture of them or like their icon from Twitch. And then people are like, oh, hey, here's an NFT of Vanalia, and then the creator's like, what the heck? This isn't me. You can't just steal my art and do it this way. So, and what Gray Man in the chat just said, case law hasn't caught up to digital age, and it's getting worse, not better.
That's across a lot of things, not just
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Like, it's the same. I feel like it's the same thing with like Bitcoin. It's like no one really understands how to handle it. So it's kind of like, it's why it's in such wild flux all the time, where it's like Bitcoin is like prices are really good, and then all of a sudden they tank, and then they get really good again, and then they tank.
And that's why people love Bitcoin. But I don't know. I think it's messy. I don't think everybody understands it yet. And I think the integration of it into video games is just going to make everything messier. I don't know. But I see it happening. I totally see it happening.
So, yeah, and I kind of want to see if you guys have any, like, I mean, obviously there are a lot of bad ways that this could be implemented in video games.
Yeah.
The top being like a pay to win thing where you get this unique item that
is only for one person. Yeah.
That only one person gets, that just wrecks.
Yeah.
I think a better way is, I think there could be a really cool thing with cosmetic items, either hopefully community created for some sort of in-game currency that has no effect on gameplay. And I think that would be kind of cool.
I foresee that absolutely happening. Obviously we don't have any examples in games right now I know of, but I think about, like, I don't know if you guys know about John Cena doing his own NFT.
John Cena would do his own NFT. Can you not see them?
No, you
does
can't.
It not exist? You can't see it?
He actually made himself
Funnily enough, yes.
He made himself look like Mario with like the raccoon ability. So he's like flying like the Mario emblem does, or the Mario character does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the NFT, it's just like a GIF of him
Okay.
flying like that.
Oh, like
And
Super
so-
Mario Brothers 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I couldn't remember which one it's from. So he made that, and he had like a bundle with it. I can't remember what exactly was bundled with it. I know it was like a shirt and a belt, maybe armbands because it's John
Yeah.
Cena.
Yeah.
So he had like real life things bundled with it, and then the NFT itself. Like they had this huge plan for it because, you know, everybody's thinking NFTs are the next big thing. And I know that the World Wrestling Federation or WWEF, I don't know, whatever it's
WWE.
called now.
WWF's the World Wildlife Fund.
Sorry. I thought it was World Wrestling Federation.
It
That's
used
not
to be. Now
Until
it's,
the World Wildlife Fund.
now it's like World Wrestling Entertainment or Enterprises or something. I
Look.
don't remember.
The last time I cared anything about wrestling was in 10th grade, so give me some leeway here. But they like put all this money into it, sell them for like $1,000 each. There were 500 available. They thought they were going to just sell out, and they sold like 30.
Yeah, sounds
And
about
they
right.
paid television advertising, all that stuff. So they lost on this thing they were doing. But I kind of think of it similarly, where it's like, if you package stuff with it that has value and you sell an NFT, so like you said, you're packaging a game item into this. I buy pets and mounts.
Right.
How is this any different? Maybe like if they
It would
charge
be-
me more,
Because it would be your own. No, it would be unique to you.
Because there would be no one else would have it.
one just like yours.
but that's the thing. Is that how they would do it? Because in this, it's like there's a limited supply, right?
So that's where NFTs in their existence is weird and messy, because it's like technically there could be like 30 mounts that are all exactly the same but have different
Right.
code with them, which
Right.
which would be
Which
like
is
an NFT.
that's how I feel video games would do it, because I don't feel like it's worth it to them financially to make one unless it's really expensive, and then you have to question,
but like
will a
if it was
gamer
small
pay for that?
variations, if it was small variation, like so, I mean, if you had one mount and had like 60 different shades of it,
Maybe, but I feel
I don't know.
like League, they already do that, and they have chromas. Obviously, a lot of people can get these, but they sell the chromas for so much. I don't know. The value to product, I'd have to see what they're going to make it, because I don't know if it's going to be something your general gaming population is willing to pay
Yeah,
for.
and that's kind of where I fall into this, is where I think that the majority of people who play video games are not going to be jumping onto the NFT train.
yeah.
I mean, already
I don't do much with cosmetics in most games, anyways. So
there's already a backlash about it, because it's just like jumping on this weird bandwagon that is like, in a few ways, like kind of like jumping on the money train, like trying to get in on there. It's not good for the environment. It's kind of predatory sometimes. The way that some people do it is a little predatory. NFT, nose, feet, teeths is what
I would like
says.
to clarify for the audience at home, since coffee is confused. It is not nose, feet, and teeth.
It's not nose, feet, teeths, nose, feet, teeths, nose, feet, teeths.
Well, yeah, I do. I think that's kind of the whole thing, right? Like, I don't know how this integrates into gaming. I think we'd be naive to say it won't. And I think everything Chris has brought to the table is very much what I thought this will maybe come to. If anything becomes pay to win, they're losing people.
yeah.
And I think the American market speaks for itself on that. So I know, I know that shit doesn't fly here, when it sometimes actually works in other countries for game developers. And so I don't think that'll be it. I think it'll be cosmetics. I actually enjoy purchasing some cosmetics when I love a game.
Mhm.
Like I said, I have purchased mounts in World of Warcraft before I decided I hated Blizzard. Pets. Carrie and I, we used to gift each other every holiday pets and mounts, because those were our things.
That's
like
so
we
cool.
would just we would collect them. So this was a fun Christmas gift we could give each other. That was easy for us at a distance to gift. So it's like things like that, if they integrate it in that way, yes, but I foresee they will make these much more expensive than those cosmetic items were. So I just don't see this working.
So, and I mentioned that I think that it potentially could work. It really depends on how it's implemented. But while I was kind of looking through some of this stuff, I did see this game that kind of caught my eye. It's called Axie Infinity. I don't know if either of you have heard of it.
No.
It's basically kind of like a Pokemon clone where you can create your own unique creature and fight in battle with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's actually really cool.
And it's NFT based.
Yes.
So I have heard my friend's brother, I won't call names, not to call him out. He was really big into some plant game that had NFTs. I couldn't tell you the name of it. He tried to get us to play it because he was like, this is the next big thing. Like, these are going to be worth so much money. And if you join and purchase one, you get all this extra stuff. And it was a pay to win with NFTs.
It was or was not?
Was.
Oh.
Right.
It was pay to win with NFTs. So people wanted to buy your plants from you so they could win harder, basically.
I mean, Evo's been like EVE Online. Sorry, not Evo.
Yeah, EVE
Online's
like,
kind of already been like that.
Yeah, it's its own little
right.
Except because it has its own currency and people spend real world currency to like do. So yeah, kind of. I think
But that with NFTs.
But like, I mean, I think he's playing it for the wrong reason. Like, I would play a game. It's like I would go to Las Vegas not to win money, but to understand that, like, okay, I'm going to bring $200, and once I'm out of $200, I'm going to walk away. Not like, oh, I'm going to go and win X amount of money, because that's not how you do that. Like, it's the wrong way to approach this, I think. I mean, I think for me, it's more about, like, if you can get something that's really cool and unique and you own that, I think that would be the coolest thing.
I think, and that's in a world where companies
sunshines and rainbows,
sunshine and rainbows and love for everybody, Pepe Sylvia, that would be what it is. It's like that. It's like, yes, this is my own little creature. There is no creature exactly like it. This one is mine. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
It's like owning a dog. It's your dog, you know?
Yeah, it's my dog. There is no other Sebastian. Sebastian is Sebastian, especially because we don't know how many types of dog Sebastian is. But the way it is now is there are people who are using this, like NFTs and the blockchain and this stuff, to create things that aren't necessarily, that are definitely not good, or like that are stealing from people.
Yes, absolutely. That's not
and that is the stuff that is not good. We would like, I'm pretty sure we could say without a doubt, everybody here, we do not agree with that. And if you are stealing people's identities and work and stuff, you are a total piece of human garbage, and you could just walk right into the sun. Like, just get out. We're done with you.
Something Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Plant versus Undead. That's the name of the NFT game.
Okay.
I was talking about, just so everybody knows if they want to ever look at that. We have
totally not Plants versus Zombies, right?
No, it's not.
Totally not.
But
Plants versus Undead.
If you find it on accident and start purchasing it with real money, they're not going to be upset. So Kwafi said he purchased a ton of skins on League. Me too. Like, I put a lot of money into that, and a special skin for a character on there, if it's uniquely mine, depending on the cost, maybe I'd do it. I don't know. So, and then Kyle asked, so GameBrew NFT when? I wanted to say that as a joke, and I was shot down. So clearly,
I don't want to. I mean, you guys could just use, if you want to say, hey, if you like the GameBrew, cool. You could tell your friends. We don't really have anything that you could steal, I guess.
Our faces. What are you talking about?
That's fine. If anyone uses my face for anything, that's good.
Tell me how much money you got for it.
Yeah, good luck.
Interesting.
I was gonna say, my girlfriend's like, I'm lucky that she's here.
Because Dan's like, if it's worth anything, maybe I'll do an OnlyFans. That's what he's thinking.
OnlyFans.
But each flan that I send you is the only flan of its kind. So
delicious.
These are These are non-flaunable tokens.
No non-flangeable tokens.
Non-flangeable tokens.
Oh man.
Oh,
anyway, is that all we have to discuss here? I know we're kind of just like running in circles. But
no, I mean that's fun. It. I mean, it's been an hour of us talking about
NFTs suck. As a synopsis, NFTs suck. Shiny Pokemon are great.
Oh, that's right.
Collectibles.
In a perfect world, I think they could be cool, but they're not right now.
So I think
collectibles are cool.
But this is the overall question that I want to pose on every GameBrew podcast. This episode's 125. Are my shiny Pokemon NFTs? Would you consider a shiny Pokemon an NFT?
No, because it's not a currency.
But could you argue? I would argue that the amount of time that it took you to caught it and like the timestamp on it, possibly, that it could make it more NFT-esque. Is Arceus? Can you get a shiny Pokemon that is also bigger than somebody else's shiny Pokemon?
They could have different sizes, like heights and weights and stuff.
But they're still not.
Technically, I think the code behind them could be.
But they're not linked to a blockchain. So the answer is no.
So the answer is no. If it's not linked to the blockchain, it's not an NFT.
To show the transaction, yeah.
So that's the difference, right? And that's where I have a problem with NFTs no matter what when it comes to games. And this is going to get messy. And this is way over my head. But my minimal level of understanding is, like, I enjoy catching shiny Pokemon. I love going through my Pokedex in Pokemon Go and being like, look at all these cool Pokemon. Does anybody want them in a trade? And I enjoy collecting Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards and all of those things.
I love finding a rare Magic card and just getting that sleeve out, just putting it right in, just being like, yes.
And never using it
again. It stays in the case.
Right, but it's not linked to a blockchain in the cryptocurrency world and in all this messiness. And I think that's the difference. It's a tangible thing for me rather than it being this digital item, not even necessarily connected to anything except a blockchain itself. And it gets weird.
Yeah, I mean, like the NFTs we're talking about, yeah, I mean, it has to be linked to a blockchain, but like you could have non-fungible tokens outside of a blockchain.
Technically it's just a term.
It's just whether it can be replaced or not by another identical item.
Yeah, can it be? Is there another one of these that exists? If it doesn't,
I thought it had to be stored in a blockchain to be an NFT.
I think that's like
that's the internet.
Like to be a NFT, to be
like I mean, you can have non-fungible tokens that aren't
NFTs
Got it.
on the internet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I understand. I think what you're saying. Okay.
My tuba could be a non-fungible token.
Technically, yes. I mean, there is. I mean, to be
fair,
there
are no tubas like mine.
I mean, all tubas. As soon as you play it and start doing things to it, it's basically it becomes a non-fungible token.
We created
isn't
a new
it just
currency.
A non-fungible item? It's not a token. The token piece is a digital.
A token
anyway,
could be
this is
getting
a token. That's
so
true.
messy. We
Widgets,
could argue
tokens.
about the finer details over this forever.
Non-fungible tubas.
Non-fungible tubas.
Okay. With that being said, and your all's opinion, my answer is no. My shiny Pokemon are not NFTs. What do you all say?
I mean, probably not. If they're not, I mean, I think with Arceus we're getting closer because sizing differences and all that. But
and then also it connects your you have an individual Pokemon ID. So whenever you trade a Pokemon, it always has your ID attached to it.
Wait, so then it would be.
Am I right, Allison?
I mean, so in Pokemon Go,
it always says like the original trainer is.
It always says the original trainer, yes, but it doesn't show. Like, okay, I'm thinking of this in the realm of Pokemon Go. You can only trade something once, and that is how they keep people from abusing the system, which is something I think that can happen with NFTs and why they're different.
And why it's happening now.
Yeah, so you can only trade them once, and the stats actually reroll, so it's not the same when it's with you as when it leaves you.
Oh my gosh, that's such a sad.
It really is
sad statement.
So if you have
never the same after it leaves you,
a 99% IV Pokemon, shiny Pokemon that you trade to somebody else, it's still a shiny Pokemon. it's still male or female that you gave them, but all of its stats change. So it might be
garbage.
It could be garbage. And so you usually only trade your garbage because you don't want to trade the high ones. So anyway, that's a whole different thing. So in my opinion, still, no, they're not shiny. Pokemon are not NFTs.
I don't know if I care.
I mean, that's the
you
point.
Have to answer.
You have to answer. Are they NFTs?
In your humble opinion?
No.
Okay, there we go.
Damn it.
Go. All right.
I'm going to say they are still because of the individual trainer who caught them. It's always going to be, this is Dan's shiny Pikachu. I don't have a shiny Pikachu. I've never caught any shiny Pokemon in my entire life.
That's probably not true.
Probably not. I probably just didn't know.
You had to have come across one.
I don't know. Who knows? Well,
everyone played Silver and Gold, and there was a shiny red
Gyarados.
Yeah, that Gyarados.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's technically a shiny, isn't it? That's just a shiny, but everyone.
Kyle says, "Does that mean hacking in shiny Pokemon is basically printing money?"
Absolutely. Go do it right now.
Do it right now.
Hack the shinies.
Hack the shinies.
Hashtag hack the shinies.
Thanks, Kyle, for that point.
And if you played Gen 2, you got a shiny.
So, that's what I was talking about. The red.
Okay.
Yeah.
So great.
It was handed to you.
So answer yes. And with that answer,
I'm sticking with no, but that's okay.
With that answer, it is time for us to end the podcast. With our traditional sign off. Oh, well, before we do our traditional sign off, anyone who tuned in for the 24-hour stream, thank you for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
If you didn't get a chance to listen to the podcast from that, it is released. You can listen to it now. We had the whole crew, the OG crew was there. So were we missing anybody? I don't think so.
No, we had everybody.
No, it was everybody.
It was
everybody. Our intern wasn't there, but
yes, he was. He came in
part of it.
Oh, he was there for part.
Not for the episode, but for the
24-hour stream. The 24-hour stream is no longer up for you to watch. I don't think I saved it. But also I've been very busy this week, so I forgot. But it was a lot of fun. If you still want to donate, you can still do that. If you go to Extra Life and look up the GameBrew, you can still donate. We think our goal was $1,000. We made $1,155.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone who was there to chill with us or supported with a donation.
Yes.
It's really amazing.
Yeah. And if you are not currently in our Discord, you can definitely come join our Discord. It's bit.ly/discobrew. Allison streams every Wednesday most of the time. If you're here and you don't watch Allison stream, which is highly doubtful, but if you don't, on Wednesdays you can go to twitch.tv/Vinalia, Vinala.
Thanks, dude.
If you want to watch me and my brothers be idiots in Call of Duty, you can do that every Thursday at twitch.tv/tubecrazed. If you want to hang out with us, you can go to bit.ly/discobrew to join the Discord. Chris, do you have anything you want to plug?
Go Owlbears.
Hoot growl, go Owlbears. From the Egbert Adventurers Academy.
Yes.
And with that, I think, was there anything else?
No, I think we just say the thing.
I think it's where we say goodnight, everybody. So say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
But